So this patch's drip marketing was a bit weird because 5.2 has been out for around 4 days and we only now got the drip marketing for 5.3. Now, people were speculating that they were waiting to see if they get nominated for the Game Awards, which does make a bit of sense, but I do wonder, because a lot of things have been weird with the past couple patches, you know, with 5.1 being kind of a filler patch, with 5. Not a filler, sorry, because no new region in 5.1, a new region in 5.2, but only a very short interlude. That felt so off, because that could have been at the very start of 5.3. It would have been the very start of 5.3, and they could have left this patch as a filler patch with just, you know, the new region and the new quests within that region. Anyway, that's besides the point. Right now, I want to take a look at the new drip marketing for Mavuika and Citlali. Yup, they are the two new characters that are going to be coming out in 5.3. And I gotta say, I will be pulling for both. Mavuika is an Archon, first things first, so of course I do want to collect all the Archons. I will need to get Venti at some point, because the others I do own. And Citlali is a pretty good cryo support, and I do have a team that I could use her in with Riceley, and I think I can get a couple of teams up. And if it does happen that Capitano is playable, since he looks to be cryo, Citlali might actually be a really, really good unit for Capitano. So let's get into the trip, right? Now, how to introduce her? The bearer of Kyongzo. Okay, that's a weird name, Kyongozi. Mavuika, a leader completely worthy of leading the people of Natlan. The woven scrolls and epics record all the most legendary of ancient deeds. Great heroes emerge one after the other, and glory is passed down from generation to generation, and as she has never failed to live up to such heavy expectations. She who shoulders the title of the strongest, she who respects all beings, be they strong or weak, and treats all equally. For this, the people love her, sing her praises, and follow her willingly with all their hearts. Each time when she addresses the pilgrimage of return of the sacred flame, her hair flutters with the sacred flame as her majestic voice rings in our ears. She casts her inspiring gaze upon every warrior, every Saurian. She calls upon every flame of Natlan, uniting all fires into a bright light to drive away the darkness. As we support each other, stumbling through the valley of the long, boundless night, wiping the tears from the corners of our eyes, and finally struggle to lift up our heavy heads, we see naught but that unwavering, unchanging red, like the sun rising in the east. What did she sacrifice? What did she give up? What kind of will has led her to this day? We have no doubt that she will lead Natlan to yet another victory. Our sun will never set. Ooh, that last part, these last couple lines. So here's the thing, right? Let's address the elephant in the room, the motorcycle, right? Everyone is saying, you know, like, oh, her design is bad. Why is she, like, all in leather? Why does she have a motorcycle? Why is she using it in her kit? Etc., etc. I don't know. It's weird. It feels weird to me as well. I don't mind it. I don't mind it in the slightest, especially we literally had the internet in Sumeru. We have autonomous mechas in Fontaine. We have so many different types of robots from Conrail, which do we know how they're actually powered? And yeah, some of these were powered by magic in a way, like the internet, the Akasha system was powered by the Gnosis, right? The mechas in Fontaine were powered by the Numa Osseous stuff. But realistically speaking, these are all powered by a magical fuel source as well, with phlogiston. And when you think about it, something on wheels is not the hardest thing to really think of or imagine. Of course, the fact that it looks very modern, very sleek in its design is what really takes me away. Why does she need brakes, though? She can control phlogiston, and since the thing is powered by phlogiston, couldn't you just be able to control the flow of phlogiston through the bike? Anyway, that's kind of besides the point. It's more like questions about how the in-universe things work. Because I have to agree. The Natlan trailers, like especially in my opinion, Shilonen's trailer is the biggest culprit of this situation, which is the fact that you saw a rave in her trailer, something that fits, like, doesn't fit at all with the universe of Genshin, even with the fact that it's honestly so much more advanced than our own when you really think about it, with the kinds of inventions that people can create, right? Again, Fontaine, Sumeru, etc., etc. Well, there's literally something that allows you to see through the eyes of animals, like with the little mirror thing. Like yeah, lots of those might be elemental magic, but they sometimes have applications that would, you know, be similar to our real world. Plus, I remember some people saying that, oh well, you know, the DJ deck that Shilonen has might just work through vibrations through crystals and stuff like that, and that's why using phlogiston, and that's why it's built like that, so it could be easily explained as to why it exists. Again, that doesn't really excuse the rave thing, but I don't know. It's weird, especially it's weird how Natlan in general was so, you know, cut off from the rest of Teyvat. And now we know that it's because, you know, people from Natlan going out of Natlan kind of lose their powers and possibly memories. Anyway, so conclusion, I love her design. I'm okay with the bike. I did see the leaks because I do watch character leaks, and I really, really like her. I'm not gonna go too far into it. I'm not sure exactly, because I've seen that some people have put out pre-release pre-release, like talking about the pre-release of the character, so I'm not sure how that works in a realistically, because I'm not really liking any partner programs. But yeah, I really like her, and I think she's going to fit, like, kit-wise, she's going to fit quite well in pretty much any team, depending on how her burst really works with anyone out of Natlan. Anyway, that's besides the point. Design, I love it. I don't feel like it takes you too far from what Genshin is, especially when Natlan pretty much has its own kind of in-game culture compared to the other nations, which had a lot more interactions with each other. Plus, already, another thing, it seems that even the previous dragons who ruled over Natlan had highly advanced objects as well. Like, there is a quest in the world, there's a world quest in Ochkanatlan that also deals with, like, a weird computer-like dragon system, whatever. Anyway, that's besides the point. Maybe I would need to do a video on that as well, on the weirdness of technology within Teyvat in general. That could be interesting. Anyway, now let's go to Citlali, who, as I've said, I would love to get, because, you know, she's cute, her character's design, I like it. And again, she might be a good support for Capitano if he ever comes out. Plus, I think both Shatter and... was it Melt as well? No, Melt wasn't buffed. But Shatter was buffed, so I think she could fit quite well. And she's a shielder, so she could fit quite well instead of Diona on my Risley theme. Because I think he shatters with the charge attack, but I'm not entirely certain. Anyway... oh, I also didn't... so, Mavuika Night Igniting Flame, Natlan's Radiant Sun. Now that's a cool title, isn't it? And we have Citlali, Obsidian Opal Star, Stargazer of Mictlan. Ooh. Whenever a child starts crying uncontrollably, parents from the Masters of the Nightwind in need of immediate relief are quick to make use of Granny Itzli's name. Over the past 200 years, many a terrifying rumor has been born from the horrendous defeats she has inflicted upon all challengers, eventually granting her prestige sufficient to silence wailing infants. As a bearer of this title, Citlali has never sought to explain herself, as though she really is such a horrific entity. But if you should dare to set foot in her remote abode, you'll find it a right mess of wine bottles and snacks, and shelves stuffed to bursting with light novels. And you would be forgiven for thinking of her less as some frightening old hag in her lair, and more as a hermit in her nest. And in this case, Lali will feel the need to argue as such. I'm not a hermit. I'm just above superficial rules of societal etiquette. So she's a shut-in dweeb, I guess? Honestly speaking, when I first interacted with Citlali, I always thought that she would be more similar to Yae, in a way, to Yae Miko, like serious about her job, but having that more mischievous side to her. I never really thought that she would literally be the average Genshin player, but instead of playing Genshin, she reads novels. And yeah, people did point out that I think in one of her idol animations, she does read a light novel from Yae Publishings. So that'd be kind of interesting to see another character that has connections to that interact with Yae Miko. Right, because we're kind of due for an another like meetup sort of multi-nation meetup sort of event, right? Anyway, design-wise, I really enjoy it. The purples are really nice, and it fits, and the gradient in her hair is really cute. I don't know. I'm not really a character designer. I just see pretty lady with cute clothes, and I like, you know. And you'll kind of see that when we take a look at the Wuwa Drip marketing in a couple days. But yeah, that's another game. So yeah, pretty cool character designs, not gonna lie. I know that a lot of people don't like Mavuika's design, and I can understand why, because a lot of players have grown under the impression that Genshin is a fantasy game, right? Like a medieval fantasy game, when in reality, after Liyue, I don't think it's ever been that. Like, ever since we started seeing pretty much the Kanria mechas, it stopped being one. Oh, speaking of giant mechas, you know, Scaramouche's mech from the weekly boss fight is also really comes to mind when it comes to advances in the technologies of Sumeru. Also, Kaveh has an AI suitcase. So yeah, I think we shouldn't really be too hard on having, you know, a motorcycle that can go on water and fly using phlogiston, and, you know, give Mavuika a break. Either way, these characters are cool. I will pull for them, but will you? Well, you can let me know in a comment, or you can also like or subscribe to the channel. I want to thank you guys for watching, and hope to see you all in the next one.